Hey guys, I hope this finds you doing well. It's Holy Week this week, and it's a great time to be thankful and be reminded of all that Jesus did for us. I read this morning in the book of Mark about the boy who had an evil spirit inside of him. And the evil spirit would often throw him into convulsions, and he would foam at the mouth and flop all over the place, almost like having a seizure. And the father had dealt with this for a very long time. And the father brought the boy to the disciples, and disciples tried to heal him and couldn't. And so then he brought the boy to Jesus. And the boy's father went to Jesus and said, "Jesus, have mercy on us. Help us if you can." And Jesus' response was really awesome. He's like, "What do you mean if I can?" Jesus asked him. What Jesus was saying is anything is possible if a person believes. And the father said, I do believe. Help me where I don't believe. It's really interesting to me that that's how the father responded. And Jesus responds to that, and he ends up healing the boy. I think that tells me, and I think that tells all of us, that it's okay to struggle with our beliefs sometimes. It's okay to struggle with our faith sometimes. We don't understand. And it's in that struggling that we end up growing. We shouldn't be embarrassed about our struggle, and we shouldn't be ashamed of it. In fact, it's that very thing, that very struggle, that should draw us to Jesus, not make us want to stay away from it because we're embarrassed or ashamed of it. It should make us want to come closer to him. And that's exactly what the boy's father did. He approaches Jesus. He comes closer to Jesus, and he says, "I do believe. Help me where I don't believe." We're parents. We're all parents. And I think we can relate to what the boy's father is going through there. He wants his boy healed, and he'll do pretty much anything it takes. And so he's saying, "I'll do whatever it takes, Jesus. Help me where I don't believe. I'm struggling here." And Jesus does. And can you imagine that boy's father's faith just growing? I think every single one of us has a faith-o-meter inside of us. And when we see God do that, and we trust God with something, our faith-o-meter ticks up a little bit. And we have a little more faith, we have a little more of confidence in what we believe that God can do. It's not like we can't believe God can do anything. We understand that God is God, and he can do anything he wants. But sometimes it is getting ourselves inside to really believe that we know that God can do it. Do we believe that he will do it? And do we believe that we'll see him do it? And that's where sometimes our struggle comes in. And I think sometimes that struggle can come in all kinds of different areas, not just in healing somebody from being sick, but maybe it's just not believing that God can forgive us of something that we've done. Something that's deep inside that we struggle with. Something that we know God has forgiven us of, but yet we haven't forgiven ourselves of. Or we haven't let go of it. It's kind of like you're carrying around this weight. God's already forgiven you, but you're still carrying around the weight of it. Here's where it comes into Holy Week this week. Jesus died not only to forgive you of your sins, but to take the shame away from it, to relieve you of that weight of having to carry that burden around. He paid too high a price for us to not only give the forgiveness of sins, but to continue carrying around that weight like a big backpack full of bricks. The price he paid was so that we could have that forgiveness and lay that weight down and continue on our journey without that burden. And that's something I think we all struggle with. So this week, as you enter in the Holy Week of thinking about what Jesus has done for us, whatever you're struggling to believe, draw closer to him and seek to have him help you where your unbelief is, just like this boy's father did. If you want to read the story yourself, it's found in the book of Mark, chapter 9. I love you guys. I'm praying for each of you by name this week. Thank you so much for all you do for the ministry here at BNC.